is the mother of God. You said in the Catholic text, Holy Mary, Mother of God. If Mary was the mother of God, she is before God. She knew God when she didn't have a seed in her. God was nothing. How come that she became pregnant, got God in her, and then God comes out? This is based upon you. You said, a child born from a mother without a father who is married to her is a bastard, you said. Illegitimate. God, Jesus Christ qualified. He's illegitimate, his mother was married. Second, he's a bastard. His father was married. I did not say this. I am quoting from your text of things that you said. If someone find me to be wrong, please get up and say so now. Tell me the correction so that I may correct myself from the error. If not, I will continue. You said I must believe in God. When I was a boy, my mother, being following the Hebrew religion, she did until she died, and my father followed the Hebrew religion until he died. And I followed the Hebrew religion until I get big enough to know better. When I was small, a little fellow named Reynald got kicked. And he got ruptured and died. I asked my parents to go to the funeral like most of the other little kids, and my father said I couldn't go. My mother said I couldn't go. Well, that was enough. It meant I couldn't go. And then I asked my father, when it was all over, why couldn't I go? And he said I was not a Christian, it was a Christian funeral. I said, but I know Reynald, we were in the same class. And the kid that kicked him was a fellow Christian, and he died. My father's statement to me was that his God is different to my God. I started to think then, because I thought that all men, they said, it's a difference in philosophy. All men believed in a common God. So then I asked another question, why is God here, Jehovah, God there, Christianity, Christ, and God there, Allah, but no goddess? And I said, yet, God over here has a woman who is the godmother. God over here has a woman who gave birth to him, and she is his mother, and God over here at Muhammad have another goddess over there. All the time I look at God having a mother who is never proclaimed, but is mentioned. And all the time I look over here, the man gave birth to a child, a girl child, a mother. And he had given birth to God and no help of a woman. And then I looked at men, including myself, and noticed that a man has no provision to give birth, even if he's a faggot. Have no provision made to give birth to anything, that when he's urinating, he'll have trouble sometimes. So I had to ask myself eventually, it was bothering me all the time, I eventually asked myself, how could a man give birth to a child? There are fellows trying to prove it to me all the time, but I can't see it. I see them switching and doing all kind of things. But they haven't been able to deal with, and no minister, no rabbi, and no imam have I asked to tell me where and who is God? Where can I find God to go and explain to him my problem? And I ask any of you to tell me realistically, what did God do for you? Don't tell me something you dream about. Tell me something that I could see. Don't tell me who you heard, what you believe. I want to see the actual fact. And not one of you in here can do that. Not one. If you're a minister, you can't do it. If you're a bishop, you can't do it. If you're a imam, you wear black and white, pink and green, you can't do it. God is a factor that none of us have ever seen. Now, many of you say that you believe in God. I bet you can't show me God. And get me, you can't prove to me there's such a thing as God. You don't tell me what you believe. I don't want a damn of what you believe. You could believe all kind of things, but prove it. Where is God? Where he come from? And if God made the world, where was God when he was making the world? If he made it, it doesn't exist, right? And he got to be someplace to make it. I ask you, where was God when he made the world? You can't tell me a single place because you're telling me about the world. Have you ever given those things a thought? You never. You believed in God primarily, either your mother or some guardian or the other, or your father, told you about God, and you see other people believing in that, and you were afraid to believe in it, so you follow your parents. Like me. Until I started to examine, without any prejudice, I started to examine what is God, what is meant by it. And I went through some problems because I was afraid at times. I had never asked myself the question and had the nerves to examine what is God. Of course, I have been easy. I've read books about goddesses in different religions and didn't believe there could be a goddess because a man taught me that a woman would never reach to that point.